New Orleans is full of ghost stories, but none are darker than that of the LaLaurie Mansion, a house tied forever to one woman, Madame Delphine LaLaurie, to her neighbors. She was a charming socialite. To those trapped inside her house, she was a monster tonight. We'll walk through her life, her crimes, and the strange curse her mansion seems to carry. Delphine McCarty was born in 1787 into one of New Orleans' wealthiest Creole families. Her relatives were judges, merchants, and plantation owners. She married 3 times. First to a Spanish officer, then to a prominent banker, and finally to Dr. Leonard LaLaurie. With her wealth and his medical reputation, they became one of the most powerful couples in the French Quarter. Delphine loved appearances. She was known for throwing elegant parties, dressing in the finest Parisian gowns, and presenting herself as a refined, respectable lady. But beneath this image, there were cracks. Neighbors whispered about her violent temper and her cruelty toward enslaved people. Some described her as charming one moment and explosive the next, a woman with a split nature. Today, doctors might say she showed traits of sadistic personality disorder or psychopathy. No empathy, no remorse, only control. The first public signs of trouble came when a young enslaved girl, about 12 years old, died after falling from the mansion's roof. Witnesses said she had leapt to escape punishment. After tugging too hard while brushing Delphine's hair, the court fined Madame LaLaurie a small sum, and she was forced to sell a few enslaved people, but in secret, she bought them back through her relatives. The cruelty continued. Hidden behind locked doors, on April 10, 1834, a fire broke out in the mansion's kitchen. Neighbors rushed to help and discovered something horrific. Behind the attic doors were men and women chained to the walls, starved and mutilated. Some wore iron collars with inward-facing spikes, so they couldn't rest their heads without piercing their skin. Others had broken bones reset at grotesque angles, leaving their arms and legs permanently twisted. One man was found with holes drilled into his skull. Rumors claimed a woman's skin had been flayed, another's wounds were crawling with maggots, and one man's intestines were wrapped around his waist like a belt. Were all of these stories true? But even the official records admitted Madame LaLaurie kept people chained, starved, mutilated, and left in agonizing pain. What horrified the city most was not just the abuse, but the deliberate, systematic cruelty. This wasn't punishment, it was experimentation. It was sadism. When the mob gathered outside, furious at what they'd seen, Madame LaLaurie fled. Witnesses claimed they saw her carriage speeding through the night, never to return. Some reports suggest she reached Paris, where she lived quietly until her death. A gravestone in France even bears her name, though some say it was a false marker. Others insist she returned to New Orleans in disguise, and that her spirit never left the mansion. The mansion itself gained a reputation for darkness. When converted into apartments, tenants reported violent accidents and sudden illness. In one case, a man was found murdered, his body strangely mutilated. When the house became a school for girls, children spoke of ghostly cries, footsteps in the halls, and phantom hands that pulled their hair. In the 2000s, actor Nicolas Cage purchased the mansion, only to lose it within 2 years during financial ruin. Cage himself admitted the house carried a dark energy. Who was Delphine LaLaurie really? To some, she was a woman of her time, a society that normalized cruelty. But even in a world built on slavery, her acts were considered monstrous. Perhaps she was a sadist who found pleasure in suffering. Perhaps she was psychopathic, her charm and elegance masking an inner void. Her name lives on as one of the most infamous women in American history, proof that evil doesn't always look like a monster. Sometimes it looks like a socialite in pearls and silk. The LaLaurie Mansion still stands today, its walls holding the echoes of cruelty and pain. So tell me, do you think Madame LaLaurie was simply a product of her time, or something far more disturbed? If you want more haunted history, true crime, and folklore, follow my channel and support my work. Together, we'll keep walking the shadowed paths of the past.